So, you're here to get better at building. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that's why you're here. I mean, you saw the title of this video, you clicked on it. But, yeah, that's what this new series is all about. First episode, focusing on how to get you a little bit better at building stuff. So, let's put you out of your misery. Let's get into it. Depth and variation may sound like some sort of complex title or concept. It's really not. Like, variation is just don't use the same blocks like over and over again. And depth is basically just like don't build in like a flat wall. It's not that hard. You'll see. We're gonna start with variation first. Let's have a look at this wall. Now, does this wall look good to you? Because it doesn't. Like, it's hard to make something look bad with these shaders on, but like, I managed to do it. This is not interesting at all. It's literally a wall of wood. This is what you don't want to do. Don't build a house like this. This is terrible. Like, never do this. Never. Alright? Don't do this. Now, some self-proclaimed genius might be like, oh, it's because it doesn't have a window in it. Let me just add some glass here. Now it looks so much better. No. You've gone from like god-awful to terrible. Like, you've gone up like half a step. This is still a terrible looking wall. Like, this, I would not ever want to live in something like this. This is not how you build walls and houses in general. Don't do this. I take it back. There is one thing you can do to make this wall look even worse, and it's this. It's this. I'm gonna say this one time. Do not use glass blocks as a window unless you absolutely have to. Like, if someone's holding a gun to your head, then like maybe. But come on, like it's so flat. There's zero depth. Like, at least with the panes, like you can actually like see some sort of indentation. Like, you can get up here. But do not use glass blocks as a window, please. I know I'm going on a rant about glass blocks as windows, but like, come on. Like, the bar was on the ground and you brought a shovel. Like, seriously, don't do this. Please. I'd never want to see this. Please. So now that we've established the worst possible thing you can do, let's start talking about how to make this better. Step 1, just add some stairs, honestly. It works pretty well. This is the basic stuff, but I mean, it doesn't look good yet, but it looks like slightly better than it did before. Now, most of the time this will be like off the ground, like, it shouldn't be this low. But even then, it's still starting to look a little bit better. Now, something I like to do actually, I like to reverse it to where you have something a little bit like this, and then you switch it. Once you're outside of that, you would have it bottom facing down, but when you have that pane, you have a little flat side facing upwards, and so it looks a little bit more like that. I like that. It looks a little bit better. Also, if you really want to walk up to the window, you can do that. But this is a start. It's starting to look a little bit better just by doing some of this. Ta-da! And I should mention, this isn't gonna work for everything. Like, this is not a, oh, do this and your buildings will look instantly better. But it's a start, and it works really well for houses. The next thing you can do is add some fences, connect them, just like in real life. You'll see these little poles, they connect, and that just looks so much better than what we had before. Well, what's next? Well, the answer's pretty simple. We gotta mix it up a little bit, because it looks alright, like this uniform thing, but it doesn't really give your eyes anywhere to focus on, because it's still a little monotonous. So, mix it up. Do some slabs or something. I don't know. Whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. You just gotta give it some variety. You know? Just don't do the same thing over and over again. And find different patterns too. Like, it doesn't have to be this. Find whatever works for you and do that. But don't repeat the thing over and over again. Create different designs. Be creative. That is what Minecraft is about. Be creative, gosh darn it. I did this without realizing it, but I switched from variation to depth. Like, this whole thing, it's variated because this is spruce instead of oak. Like, don't use the same wood all the time. But this is what depth does. This is how it makes your build look better. That just looks so much better than just a flat wall. And that's all it is. It juts out one block and it's providing that depth. It gives your eyes somewhere to look. That's what makes all this stuff look good. You just have to give people's eyes somewhere to look. It's not as complex as it sounds. Trust me. So what's next? Now that we're done with this little awning thing, well, if you check my hotbar, you can see it's leaves. It's leaves. Like when in doubt, use leaves. Like it's not even that hard. Just place them around, experiment, do whatever you want. I don't know, but this works especially well once you're actually like off the ground, giving that kind of like hanging effect, I guess you could say. But it's just leaves make it look better because now instead of just dealing with light brown and dark brown, now you've got green, you've got some variation, and it's starting to look a little bit better. This isn't the best example ever, but I feel like you can understand where I'm trying to go with this. And for that, you know what? You want to add some more stuff? Add some barrels. Now, obviously, this is all subjective to what you're trying to do. But ta-da! Now you got some barrels off to the side, and look at that. It looks so much better. And it's this little detail. It's giving the eyes somewhere to look. I just said that, but it's just true. Satisfied yet? No, you shouldn't be, because there's still more we can do. We're at night, which is great because it shows off the fact that this, although it looks pretty, it's dark. It's dark, and especially if you're in survival, you don't want to have that. So put on some lighting. Have a lantern or two. Like, can't. Okay, I had zero idea you couldn't place lanterns on leaves, but I don't know, man. Put a lantern there. Yay! Look at that. Put a lantern there. All of a sudden, your build's so much brighter. Like, it's not complex. This kind of stuff. Just add some lighting. So, add some depth. Great. Add some greenery. Great. Vary whatever blocks you're using. Don't use the same wood for every type of thing. And then add some lighting. Like, this looks so much better than what we started with. And it literally took like 30 seconds. Oh, but David, I don't want to build that kind of house. I'm building a modern house. I don't care. It's the same thing. Same rules apply. I'll show you. So let's do a little concrete wall or whatever. I don't know. White concrete. That's what people build modern houses out of, right? I don't know. So you got this blank wall, right? Well, what can you do? So notice I've got the cyan terracotta. Now I can use this as both a variation and a depth. So what do I mean? Well, you just, I don't know, build it a block out, make a little line. Like look at that. It looks better. And now, oh. And then now we have a window. Like, that looks better. Like, now it doesn't look great, but it's starting to look better. Now, what can you do? Again, the leaves. The leaves. They always work. The leaves. You can't go wrong with leaves. Some stuff is topic specific. Barrels aren't going to work for a modern house, but leaves always. And if you really want to get crazy, like you can, like, I don't know, do your own landscape. It doesn't matter. Just use leaves, always. While we're on the topic, I turn my shaders off for a second. If your leaves look like this, what are you doing? Like, come on, no. Like, the 3 FPS you gain from not having transparent leaves is so not worth it. Like, oh, it looks like a solid block now. This is not how leaves are supposed to be. But even if you don't have shaders, please don't do this. Please. I beg of you, don't do this. And real quick, I know we're wrapping up here, but I wanted to show you what I mean when I'm talking about block variation. And the best example I can possibly think of is to use this stone wall, because stone is so easy to block variate because there's so many different kinds of stone. They all look slightly different, but they're very similar. They're not jarring. You can do whatever the heck you want with them. And it just, having a wall like this, in my opinion, you could disagree, but that just looks so much better than a blank stone wall. And you can do this with almost any block. It may be a little bit more difficult, but you can do it, and it just makes it look so much better. So that's what I really mean by variation, is contrast, kind of like that over there with that spruce and the oak, and then this with different little block gradients, stuff like that. So what did we learn today? Well, we're talking about just variations and depth, and this is a great example. Got the variation in the different kind of wood right here, along with these barrels, the lighting, this greenery. It all complements this standard wooden wall that we started with. So that's a major point right there. And then the depth provided by this awning, it just gives the eyes somewhere to look at. You're not looking at some flat wall, you're looking at an actual window. This actually looks good. The same thing with this kind of stuff. The complementary white concrete and cyan, along with the depth provided by that little block right there, and the leaves as well. And same thing goes for those two. But I think the most important thing you can take away from this is experiment. Try what works for you. If it doesn't work, then try something else. But I think it's just so important to tinker around and find what works best for you and do that. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Use leaves, you moron.